Hi, everybody. TJ. I'm going to give you a quick review of what a Live Life claim is and basically how to set it up and use it. This is going to become one of the most important documents in your life once you create it and you understand what to do with it. But what I want to emphasize is if you saw the video already on registered mail, one of the first things you do is once you create this document, you're going to mail it to yourself under this registration number here. That's the registered mail number here at the top that we put. That becomes a permanent registered document in the postal system. Okay, so it's important that you send this to yourself first and then make many, many copies, color copies, double-sided on nice quality paper, not the cheap thin stuff. And you'll have your Live Life claim and be able to present it along with other documents that you're going to use when syntaxing or using this syntax technology. So let's go through the basics of the document, okay? Over here on the upper right, you'll see a Red Fox stamp. Red Fox stamp. Now you'll have to go to eBay or someplace like that to buy those. They're probably around $5. The reason that we use the Red Fox is because it actually has some embedded gold. It has real intrinsic value to it. Then you'll notice that I've autographed it with the proper form of the colon, Theron dash J colon Mars colon or period format, and then copyright copy claim. Why? Because if somebody gets a copy of this, they'll know that that is a fact-based name, not a fiction name. That's what the colons represent. And the copyright copy claim prevents them, under private copyright, to do anything with this document, especially take it and monetize it, okay, or use it against you. Then it has the language on here, which the CSS CL flag, that just has to do with the correct syntax, language, and grammar, and so forth. Um, then the basic language on here is for the claimant's knowledge of this live life is with this claim by this claimant. Now that may seem a little odd to you until you learn how to read this language. Once you read it, you'll know that that actually states a fact and is now a contract. None of the garbage that you see in the legal system is contract because it's not using now time fact language. It uses future time, past time, and various words that have negative meanings. So we want to stay away from that if we want this to be a fact. And when they see a fact, it makes them very worried. Okay. Anyway, this is just the format. You'll be able to read the example yourself. I'm not going to read it to you. But there's a place here where you're going to put the birth date in. That's what you know to be the birth date. Your mother and father's names, full names, given names if you know it. Um, then ultimately it goes down here to the witness section, and I've blacked out my witness's name, but they should also be Live Life claimants, somebody that's going to do this with you. And if not, at least somebody who has claimed some form of claim of life, as these people had in my case. They weren't quite doing the Live Life claim. Now, I can go do this all again anytime I want to. Okay, I can create a brand new one. So if I find two Live Life claimants later, okay, go back and do a new one. Okay, you can. It's your document. It's your contract. You represent all the parties on the contract. You can change it. All right. Contracts can be modified. And then you go down and go to someplace like I go to Costco and get passport pictures made, and I stick it on here. And then when I run copies, of course, it's going to copy it in color. That's why I always copy these in color. I put a blue fingerprint or thumbprint there. And over here, we're going to put thumbprints for each of the witnesses, and again for myself. Okay? And notice we don't call it a signature, it's an autograph, because an autograph is a fact, a signature is a fictional scribbling. Big difference. It's a non-contract. Yet when you sign it, did they say, did you sign this? And yeah, I signed it. But does that mean anything if it's not a contract? This is how screwed up our system is and how we get ourselves into trouble. So anyway, that's just the basics of it. It's not real complicated. You just make sure you put the thumbprint on there, the autograph, the copyright copy claim. You're going to use that same format on a lot of things. The stamp, sometimes it's just going to be a regular stamp, and on this one, use the Red Fox if you can get it. Okay, then get your proper name on there, your copyright copy claim. I do this again, like I do this for other documents. I just use a regular $1 stamp, nothing special. Then the thumbprints, fingerprints, and right here, you won't see it on this document, but the newest document does have a space for a DNA sample. Now, you don't want to put blood on here because if they see that, they're going to say the thing's a biohazard and they won't touch it. You can't even use it. But you could tape some hair on there or something like that, or some saliva, but put tape over it so it won't contaminate anyone. That is a real issue. Now on the back, pretty much you can see this on the back of any document that involves where you're putting claims on it. You got to put a thumbprint, an autograph, and a copyright copy claim. Why is this important on the back? This is a big deal because typically what judges will do, they'll see documents, they'll flip them over on you, and they'll say, well, we don't see anything. There's nothing before me. Well, guess what? If they got a living man's fingerprint, there's no doubt that a living man put a fingerprint, and a fact-based name, and then a copyright copy claim. Now they're really stuck. They can't steal this. They can't copy it. They got to deal with it. It's contract now, and they don't want to have contracts. They want to be able to play their game of endless, non-contract world as long as they can extract money from you. Well, that ends when you start doing this stuff. So that's basically the Live Life claim. It's very important to keep lots of color copies of this around because you're going to insert it or attach it to many other things you're going to do if you're sending it to a court or a ticket, or it's a good idea to attach this. All right? It identifies you. And that's all there is for the Live Life claim. It's really pretty simple. Once you have the stamp and the thumbprints, you can do this in a few minutes.